So we got our previous commentator, Chase Martin. He is on a mono black list that is very interesting. And we've got a, how do you think you say that, Cam? Just so I don't.
Junyuan, I believe.
Junyuan Zheng on Izzet Phoenix. It looks like a pretty stock Izzet Phoenix list. A few things that are a little bit different, but mostly stock. But we'll talk about Chase's list to start here.
Absolutely.
So I've actually pulled this list out because last night I was defeated by Willie Adel on Magic Online with a very similar list.
Okay.
So Willie was not playing, say, 3 Sign in Blood or Dreadfuge, but he was playing Evolved Sleeper, Knight of the Even Legion, and just a typical mono black shell with 4 Shield Red as well, I believe, and 4 Tenacious Underdog. So I think this is something that can compete mostly because of the mana base is much better than red black, and you're still getting a lot of the same tools as red black.
Okay, I like that. So tools in the mana base would be the full Mutavault, Hive of the Eye Tyrant, 3 Castle Lochthwains, and a Takenuma.
Yep. And I think Mutavault is a very, I wouldn't say unexplored, but it doesn't really have a home in Pioneer, and I think it's still very powerful. So maybe this is the home for it.
I think there's a lot of powerful things going on that have not quite found a home in Pioneer, like Tenacious Underdog is probably the best 2-drop in Standard right now. And yeah, Sleeper, Knight, even like Liliana the Veil, hasn't really found a home where you really want to play 4 copies and have it on 3 every game. Yeah,
the Rakdos decks are starting to trim down. They're usually at 1 right now, I think, is stock for the Rakdos midrange decks.
Yeah.
So because Chase doesn't have access to all the red cards, for Liliana makes sense here, especially with a low curve, which I think is the key part that Rakdos usually goes up to 3. It's clunky at 3. That's kind of the stigma of red black. So it makes sense to have 4 Lilianas here. So who do you like in this matchup?
That's tough. How many Thing in the Ices we got?
I believe 2.
2?
Yep.
That is, yes, 2 Thing in the Ice, 4 Ledger Shredder, 4 Arclight Phoenix. I think I like being the person with Fatal Push in this matchup. What about you, Potter?
I play Phoenix all the time and I'm very biased, but I think for a stock list, I think it's very close, and I'm gonna slightly lean to the Phoenix direction, actually.
Okay. I like it. Do you think any recent changes like Liliana the Veil or Shieldred the Apocalypse change it at all?
I think Shieldred changes it a lot. Your lightning axes are taxed, especially because Chase is going to be so low to the ground. These Phoenix players going to have to make some decisions on the lightning axe because they don't want to face a shield red with no lightning axe in hand, because at that point you're basically just dead. So I think shield red is much more important in this matchup than Liliana the Veil. But Liliana is still good in this matchup, of course. So we see a Consider. It's going to keep that card.
I believe we saw Chase on a mulligan to 6. I think he put a card on the bottom, and then, which kind of explains the lack of plays before turn 3 here.
So we got an island, and we got a Castle Lochthwain tapped, unfortunately, because we got 2 Hive of the Eye Tyrants. And a pretty slow start here for Chase. It's going to opt. Going to look at a card. See a Spell Pierce hiding out in Zheng's hand.
And we briefly mentioned the card, but I don't know that we said that there are 3 copies of Sign in Blood in Chase's deck.
There are 3 copies.
So we're really leaning into being a more aggressive black deck with like all of these cheap creatures, cheap interaction, the big game enders like Shieldred or Liliana, and then Sign in Blood can be 2 black mana for 6 damage if Shieldred's in play. So
or just 2 the noggin if Shieldred's not in play. I've definitely done that before, but I think Chase correctly identified the weakness of red black, which is the clunk. And here we see a Sign in Blood on Chase. So we're gonna have Zheng read this. That's 2 cards for 2 life. But Chase correctly identified what the weakness of red black is, which is the clunkiness. So I think him being a bit more trim makes a lot of sense here.
I think that's a really interesting way to look at it. I like that a lot. I'm looking at it from the other direction, where I'm I miss Smuggler's Copter so much.
Oh, I do too.
I played so much of this mono black deck when Smuggler's Copter was in. And so I see this as like a slightly larger way that you can build your mono black aggro deck with Shieldred now, that you don't need to have this, you know, Wizards believes broken on the ban list.
Yeah.
Card filtering, aggressive ability. You can just play 4-drops.
Yeah. It's definitely compared to that a bigger version of mono black, but comparing it to red black, it is a bit leaner.
Yeah.
So we see pieces of the puzzle here. We're going to have a choice between Lightning Axe, Consider, and a Spell Pierce. Expecting the Lightning Axe for sure, maybe the Consider as well, because we already have a Spell Pierce in hand.
And I like thinking about it that way, with the way that it fits into the metagame. Then that, you know, it should have a lot of the benefits that red black has, just gets to be leaner.
Yep. We'll actually not see the Lightning Axe picked up, so we're going to see a Spell Pierce and a Consider. So it might be heavy on removal as is. And just discarding a Phoenix to hand size. So looking for a powerful turn the next turn.
Do we see that Junyuan chose to miss their land drop to discard the Phoenix to hand size, or did
It's very possible.
Okay.
You know, my Phoenix build is weird, and one thing I don't like about pieces of the puzzle is it cannot find lands. So that is very possible that is what happened right there. See a Knight of the Ebon Legion. Very powerful 1-drop for Chase. But
oh yeah, especially now that we just get to hold up 3 mana the whole time, and it can't get shocked.
Definitely, but we're still a bit slow on the gates here. It's about turn 5, and Zheng's still at 20, which I think this favors him, even though he missed a land drop.
Absolutely. Just need 3 1-mana spells that also probably help you find a land. We've got 2 Phoenixes back, and they're coming in. Or blocking if that's the plan.
Yeah, I think a key of Phoenix, because I do play a lot of Phoenix, is knowing your what your game plan is, and that usually involves attacking or holding back your Phoenixes. Zhang's still at 20 here, but I could see him holding back some just to not take any damage because he feels that the late game favors him.
Absolutely. And our production friend has pulled up Knight of the Ebon Legion, because I'm not sure that everyone's played against this as frequently.
Yeah.
So it's a 1 mana, 1/2 Vampire Knight. You can pay 3 mana, 2 and a black, and it will get +3/+3 and Death Touch until end of turn. It also has the ability that at the beginning of your own end step, if a player, any player, has lost 4 or more life this turn, you put a counter on it.
Yeah, the key is the any player, because common play pattern at a Chase is thought seizing twice, and it will get a counter just from that.
Yep.
So we see a pump from the Knight of the Ebon Legion. We see a Fiery Impulse in response to the pump. Looks like that will take care of the Knight of the Ebon Legion.
Yep.
And a pass from Chase. So we did not see the Phoenixes come back last turn. But I believe that might have been a Treasure Cruise for turn.
That'll make it a lot easier to bring those back.
Yep. Seven cards will be delved away, leaving the Consider. Let's take a look at 3 fresh ones.
So we talked about how your build of Izzet would be a little bit different, but just kind of generally, like, well, why do you want to play Izzet Phoenix right now?
So I think there's a few reasons. It does have a lot of free matchups, which are like your mono white aggro decks of the world. A lot of decks that are maybe a bit on the fringes, because I consider Rakdos and Mono Green Devotion to be the top dogs. And your matchups there are pretty close. But there are a lot of free matchups in a lot of these aggro decks. But I have kind of turned my playstyle recently around to wanting ops and considers in my deck. I just want to see as many cards in my deck. So I think that's the main draw to this deck. It's still very powerful. I think it's playing the probably 2nd or 3rd most powerful card in the format in Treasure Cruise. So it does have an appeal of power still.
Absolutely.
To it.
Yeah.
So we're not holding back here. 2 Arclight Phoenix coming across for 6. And we're going to see, what's that? Oh, Power Word Kill on a Phoenix.
And
a Spell Pierce.
Ooh.
So Chase will take 6. He will go to 12.
And I think that's pretty key. If we remove the Phoenix, we have, 3+ more turns. If we don't remove the Phoenix, we got 3 or less. So
we're on a 2-turn clock right now, but here's Shield Red, probably the best card that Chase could play here, hoping there's not a Lightning Axe hanging out in Zheng's hand. Let's see a Mutavault get busy here.
This also changes the clock if the Shieldred can stick around.
Yep. Zheng will fall to 16.
And Chase just has 3/3 menace lands waiting to come in there.
Yep.
I think he has enough mana to activate both Mutavault and a Hive.
I think if Shield Red sticks around here, it'll be a close game, but if not, it might not be a close game.
Agreed.
Looks like it's hanging out there. So upkeep, we're going to Lightning Axe.
Ooh.
Possibly thinking about another potential Phoenix coming back, I think is the reason why you would make this play. Which is really bad news for Chase.
Absolutely. Also just a heads up play
Yep.
by Junyuan there, because I don't think the Phoenix is in the hand. So we really are expecting to draw the Phoenix or a way to discard one that we already have or something.
Yep, and I don't believe he thinks that the mana on his end of turn there, where he could have Lightning Axe, mattered as much as finding another Phoenix.
Right.
So I get a Ledger Shredder. The Spell Pierce took care of the Power Word kill, and that'll be it.
Yep.
So Izzet Phoenix player will take game number 1. So we move to the sideboards. We'll see Chase's sideboard here. We got 3 Epic Downfall, 4 Go Blank, 4 Lifebane Zombie, 2 Liliana the Last Hope, and 2 Unlicensed Hearse. What cards do you like here?
I like the ones that interact with the graveyard. So the 4 Go Blank and the 2 Unlicensed Hearse. I think Lifebane Zombie and Epic Downfall are definitely. Oh man, catching myself there. Lifebane Zombie's not coming in.
Yep,
for sure. I'm not sure whether Chase is going to think it important to be exiling Phoenixes or not.
I agree. I don't think I would expect the Epic Downfalls here. Between 4 Go Blank and 2 Hearses, I think you have that angle covered, and you don't want to dilute your deck enough to make room for those Epic Downfalls. And I don't think he has enough dead cards to warrant that here.
Agreed.
Move on to our Izzet Phoenix player. He has 2 Eternal Scourge, 1 Anger the Gods, 2 Mystical Dispute, 2 Ether Gust, 2 Abrade, 2 Disdainful Stroke, 1 Negate, 2 Rending Volley, and 1 Unlicensed Hearse. So what do you like here?
Well, I think if you're Junyuan, it's kind of hard. You might not know exactly what's in your opponent's deck. So like looking at Chase's list, I know that I definitely want the Unlicensed Hearse for some tenacious underdogs. I think it'll be pretty intuitive to bring in Anger and the other removal spells. But we'll see if, the Hearse comes in. What do you think about Eternal Scourge in a matchup like this?
I think it's possible if you value the 3/3 body. I don't think that's the type of game you want to be playing if you're the Izzet Phoenix player, though. From this side, you're just trying to kill all their stuff and make it to the late game. So it depends if they value the 3/3 body. I don't think that will come in, but it's possible if they take out all the Galvanic Iterations and Temporal Trespass type cards. So they might just have enough room, but I'm definitely expecting the 2 Abrade, 1 Anger the Gods, 1 Hearse, as you said. I think those 5 are pretty easy to bring in here.
I like it.
Yeah, I got 2 copies of Temporal Trespass. Sometimes they go to 1.
Do you think that's also where we're looking to board out because we just know that we're playing against some Go Blanks now?
Yeah. I think you want to cut Delve spells, and you don't really want to get in a racing situation, I think you just want to solidify the late game, eventually win with Phoenixes, but just kind of kill all their stuff.
Nice. I like it.
That's kind of the reason why I don't play Temporal Trespass at all, which I'm pretty much the only one in that boat. It's definitely a good game 1 card, and it's very powerful against mono green because you still have to be fast. But it loses a lot of equity post board, and I want to be better against Graveyard Hate post board, and I think part of that involves not having Temporal Trespass in your deck. So
absolutely, yeah.
I'm the only one that's in that boat. I will admit, but two very smarter Magic players that recently were in the finals of the Magic Online Championship, and Nathan Stewart and Marcio Carvalho still have Temporal Trespass in their deck. So I probably should listen to them, but I'm still not going to.
That's okay, Potter.
Yeah.
You do what makes you happy.
Yeah,
It's
I
okay.
guess so. Yeah.
You know, some people can win moxes, other people get to do what makes them happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'm smiling. You know, that's what's important.
That's it.
Yep.
Mm.
Looks like we have a mulligan, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And Chase kept 7 this time.
Yep.
Which I like on the play as my Thoughtseize Dread Fugue deck.
Yep.
What do you? That's another card that we haven't talked about in
Yeah.
Chase's list. So Dread Fugue is 1 black mana for target player reveals their hand, and you can choose a card with converted mana cost mana value 2 or less from it, and they discard that card. It also has the cleave mechanic, I believe, from Midnight Hunt.
I'm
I'm not sure. One of the recent Innistrad sets, where you can pay 3 mana and then it can take any card that is not restricted by mana value.
I think it's a very interesting card here. I'm not sure how good it is, as we're going to see a Thoughtseize.
I know I've talked to Chase a lot as he's built this deck, and one thing, the question that he had as he went to build the deck was, is this card playable? Is this card good enough for the format? If it is, then we're hitting 6, 7, 8 copies of our Thoughtseize effect, and these decks get a lot more consistent.
Yep. I think as the format speeds up, it's definitely a card that seems like I'd be interested in. So we see a Hearse getting Spell Pierce. That's pretty bad for Chase.
And that was off the top too, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we just saw him take the Spell Pierce. Don't think he would have jammed the Unlicensed Hearse if he saw the second Spell Pierce. Ooh, Mutavault coming in.
Still not a good sign for Chase here. We don't want to be attacking the Mutavault here on turn 3. I feel like he's going to probably miss a land drop here. That would be my expectation. So we pitch a Treasure Cruise to the Consider. And it's unfortunately going to take 2. Actually, it's the opposite. I think he actually has a lot of lands in hand and did not have a turn 3 play.
Yep.
So that makes a lot of sense. I do think I spot an epic downfall here from Chase in his hand.
Okay.
We're going to look at the card. It's going to become the bottom card. Do we have a land? That is the question. No, but we have another opt.
I think we're looking for it. And kind of like you said, one of the draws to the deck is just you get to make all these decisions. You have so much control over your game and plan, and just sculpting it so that hopefully you're the one on top in the end.
Yeah, I definitely do believe it is a less powerful option than mono green, obviously, but I think a lot of mono green's losses are due to itself.
Yeah.
Just not drawing the right cards in the right order, maybe mulliganing a bunch. Looking at this card mightily heavily. Spot a Thing on the Ice in our hand.
So what, we think this is a good card, but not a land?
I think that might have been.
Maybe, yeah.
See if I can spot it. Couldn't quite see it. Might have been that Pieces of the Puzzle, which we're going to cast right now.
Got it. Maybe set up a Treasure Cruise, find it.
Yep.
Hopefully put a Phoenix in the yard. Not quite though.
No Phoenixes, but I believe 2 Considers here makes sense. Not a lot of stuff in Chase's deck that has 1 toughness. However, that is a land you can take off Pieces of the Puzzle with the hazard. So
true. You said it didn't find lands. Come on.
I know. It does.
Advertising.
I'll just play 4 now. I'll just play Piece of the Puzzle and play 4 Spikefield Hazard.
4 Spikefield Hazard. What a can we get some Jawari disruptions in there? Oh yeah. Let's do it.
That card's kind of All right, so Ledger Shredder will hit the bin off the Thoughtseize here. Chase will fall to 16. And we're going to get busy again. 2 more.
Man. If Chase pulls this one out, Mutavault MVP here.
Yeah,
right?
this is what I'm saying about Mutavault. It is a very powerful card that just really doesn't have a home.
I think mono white humans would like to have a word with you, but
Yeah,
you know.
that's true. I kind of yeah. You play that deck. I don't. I have disrespect for it because I play Phoenix and I just kind of kill all this stuff.
Yep.
So that's probably where that's stemming from.
That makes sense. Yep.
Yeah.
It's really funny like how much worse actually a matchup like blue red is to red black. Like I don't feel favored against my red black opponent when I'm playing mono white, but I have hope. Unlike when my opponent plays a Spire Bluff Canal, because they have the same number of removal spells or more, and then also just so consistently find them. And
yeah,
and that's not even talking about flipping a thing in the ice or anything.
Yeah, that's not even talking about the threats of the deck. So we're gonna see a Thoughtseize here. Got a Lightning Axe and another red card. Thinking about possibly burning our thing in the ice to remove a counter, and that's what we're going to do.
Nice.
I guess that one can go face, so Chase will probably take one here.
True. Knew he wouldn't get in with creature.
Yep. Chase had a shield red. That would have been a very good spot for it, but Piece of the Puzzle off the top might be, other than Treasure Cruise, the perfect card to see here.
Yeah, and even if Chase has the shield red, it gets bounced back to his hand, right?
Yep.
And play it again.
That's very true, but just I think having that card in general, even post thing in the ice flipping, would have been very good. Unfortunately, this Epic Downfall cannot take care of the thing in the ice.
That is unfortunate.
Yep.
And part of probably why we were questioning whether they come in or not. I wonder, like, if we boarded out creatures to board that, to bring in that card, it makes sense that I'd want that creature right now instead.
Yeah, maybe Chase boarded out Liliana the Veil. Might have seen that as a liability versus something like Spell Pierce, just because of the 3 mana card.
I could also just see it being a swap for Power Word Kill.
Yep.
Where like it's unfortunate that we don't have Power Word Kill here to kill a thing in the ice, but we do have 4 Fatal Pushes to do that anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna exile the graveyard here and the hand, but Eternal Scourge is a part of those cards, so that one might be coming back.
I really loved the Eternal Scourge tech when it popped up a while ago.
Yeah.
It's just almost impossible to remove this card from the game once it's gotten going.
So Epic Downfall will, okay, we drew Power Word Kill, so we're live. But Eternal Scourge will be coming back.
Yep. Chase at 6, kind of.
Also, I think untapped land might get the job done here with the haul. Yep.
That makes sense.
What did we find? Eternal Scourge. We have a Tenacious Underdog, which can trade with the Scourge. But I believe Chase is holding another Epic Downfall, and he will cast that on the Scourge.
But just like you said, untapped land off the top, that halt's coming in.
Yep.
Tenacious Underdog would be forced to block.
Don't believe we found a land here. 4 mana. Arclight Phoenix. That's pretty good.
Yep.
That'll put Chase down to 3.
2 Epic Downfalls already in the graveyard. That. Ooh.
Okay. So Liliana did not come out. So I wonder what.
There's an Arclight Phoenix, and we're leaving the underdog back, playing around the untapped land.
Yep. Chase definitely sees it here. So we definitely have spells in our hand, I think. See a red card. Eternal Scourge will come back.
Yep.
Which is a lethal threat at this point. Liliana will uptick, get rid of a treasure cruise. We'll see a braid on the underdog. And a land will do it here.
Land will do it. Yep. Remove
Fiery
a spell would
Impulse.
also do it. Yep.
Lightning Axe actually will because you can hard pay the cost.
And Scourge is in the graveyard.
Yep.
So.
Ooh, Spire Bluff Canal. Yeah, I've been there.
Oh man. But
we got another land for Chase, so he's gonna have to block with Hive if we boot up the hall this turn.
yep. And
Yeah,
it just makes sense with his hand empty.
Yep.
Yep. It's all on the table.
So Chase is in the abyss. And that'll do it.
Well, I think we were hoping for a little bit better of a showing here from our mono black player.
Yep.
But that was quite a tough matchup, like you said.
Yeah, I really do favor Phoenix, especially when it's red black esque, but you're more lower to the ground.
Yeah.
I do think Phoenix is favored there.
Yep. Low to the ground and no graveyard trespasser.
Yep.
I really feel like, yeah, graveyard trespasser is a large part of red black being good against
Against Phoenix in particular.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.